Hi everyone, I'm Ghost Masala and welcome back to another episode of the Champions League prediction series, where I predict every round of the Champions League games in one video, and then later on I go more in depth into a certain game in another video. And in order to vote on the game that I should look at more in depth, you can vote in the poll at the top right hand of the screen. Choose one of the games and I'll make a more in-depth video on it. I'll leave a link to the Liverpool Bayern one I made last round, so that will give you an idea if you're new about what type of video that will be. Yeah, of course you can choose between any of the four games that will be in this round of fixtures. And yeah, I'll also do second leg predictions later on once of course the first leg has happened. And yeah, let's get straight into the predictions. So first up we have Tottenham VS Man City, and if you don't know, I'm a Man City fan, and although I think we are great in general and we do have a good chance in this year's Champions League, we do struggle away from home. You may have seen against Schalke, we almost chucked it away. We did manage to pull it back though, but it involved a sending off and we were behind for a lot of the game. Yeah, so we do struggle away from home in the Champions League. A 1-1 draw would be a good result for City in my opinion, and we would be able to push on in the second leg, but I don't see us beating Tottenham away from home, to be honest, in the first leg. So I've gone for a 1-1 draw, but I don't think Tottenham are good enough to win, so yeah, that's the result that I've gone for. Next we have Liverpool versus Porto. Now this could be an interesting one, and I was thinking that before I started predicting the games that I had to have one shock in these predictions somewhere. But as much as I like Porto and the players that they have, such as Alex Telles and Marega and all of them, I just can't see them beating this Liverpool team. I think Porto as a team will be pleased to lose just 2-0, to be honest, because this Liverpool team is just unbeatable. I'm surprised City are top of the league, to be honest. I'm very pleased they are, of course, but I'm surprised this Liverpool team is incredibly good. Yeah, and they'll be unlucky if they don't win anything this year. Although, of course, Marega is always a goal threat for Porto, so they may get one. And as we saw in the round 16, an away goal can really change so much. So it would be really good for Porto if they did manage to get a goal, but I don't see it. I think Liverpool will easily win this one. And next we have Man United versus Barcelona, which is probably the best fixture in my opinion out of this round. And Barcelona look dangerous in the Champions League for the first time in a while. Of course, they've been eliminated quite quickly recently on the last few tournaments, and yeah, so this could be their year to win the whole thing. And if Messi is in form, then United will of course have no chance. You just can't stop Messi, but some games he just doesn't seem to turn up nowadays. Although Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has turned United around in terms of form, they have lost to Arsenal though, so that sort of momentum has ground to a halt. I don't think they'll be able to hold off Barcelona. Their all-round quality of their squad is just not good enough, to be honest. I think it will be a struggle for Man United, although yeah, they really do need to keep it to a draw in this in the first leg if they want to try and get through in the second leg. And finally, the final prediction in the quarterfinals is Ajax versus Juventus, which could be one of the most interesting games out of this round of fixtures. And Ajax do look seriously good this year. They've got a good mix of old and young talent. I don't know if they brought in Daley Blind and Dusan Tadic, which gave the squad quite a bit of experience. They already had Hakim Ziyech and some other good players, and some of the young players got even better this season. So it's a really good time for Ajax to try and do well before all of their players leave. And yeah, as I said, Tadic is playing amazingly in both the Eredivisie and in the Champions League. And they aren't actually top of the Eredivisie though. I thought they were by miles, but they're not. So they may be trying to focus on the Champions League. I don't know if that's the case. As for Juventus, they do look a lot better on paper than Ajax. They've got players such as Ronaldo. They're miles top of the Serie A, so they can afford to try and concentrate on their Champions League and try and win that. And of course, we know Ronaldo can affect Champions League games. He lives for the Champions League in reality. So it's really hard to predict. I have gone for a shock there. I'm sure that's been on the screen. We'll finally get around to talking about the score I've gone for. I had to put a shock in somewhere. I've gone for a 3-2 win for Ajax, but that does give Juventus a good chance to get back in the second leg due to the amount of away goals they've got. But yeah, I don't know. It could happen. Ajax seems to be playing really well in European competition this year. They do have some really good players, so yeah, it could happen. Probably won't, but it could happen. I'm sure we're all hoping that it does happen. Yeah, so thanks for watching, everyone. Of course, make sure to vote in the poll in the top right hand corner for which game you'd like me to do an in-depth prediction on, and go back and watch the Liverpool Bayern game if you're new and you don't know what that sort of means. Then that's quite a good video to watch. And yeah,